Good morning, all of you. And today's we will discuss a topic on the unit first for the project management and entrepreneurship program. So, in this subject, basically, we will discuss about how to manage your project and what is entrepreneurship, what is the difference between entrepreneurship and the manager, who are the entrepreneurs. So, these are the some topics we will cover in this lectures. So basically, in the introduction part, that is what is the meaning of entrepreneurship, definition, what are the concept, what is the entrepreneur, and what is the difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship, what is the development, the entrepreneurial, what kind of mindset are there, and the common myths to the becoming an entrepreneur and how to overcome them. So these are, and what is the corporate entrepreneurship, concept of entrepreneurship, type of entrepreneurs, and what kind of function they are to perform, and the family business, women entrepreneurship, social and rural entrepreneurship. So basically, these are the some topics which is covered in the unit first. So what is entrepreneur? So entrepreneur, we already know that entrepreneur a person who have an idea and and these idea to implement into the business form. So that we can say that the entrepreneur. So all entrepreneur is often considered as a person, just like me and you. And these are some person just like so many entrepreneur, like Ambani, Adani, like MBA Chaiwala, and so many are example are there. These are the entrepreneur who set up his own business or industry. He has initiative as well as drive, skill and spirit of innovation who aims at high goal. Basically, that is a fundamental, we can say that the characteristics of the entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur is also is the individual that identifies the opportunities. Opportunities, just like the any opportunity, you have to identify that in your daily routine life, gathers the necessary resources, and it is ultimately responsible for the performance of the organization. So these are the some, we can say that the some example of the entrepreneur. Uh, and entrepreneur are action oriented, highly motivated individual who take risks to achieve goals. Just like if we take up the example of the Dhirubhai Ambani, if there is no taking, if they have not take any risk, then right now what the industries are growing of Ambanis, so that is not possible. So entrepreneur basically who take a risk for the achieving the goal. Entrepreneur play a vital role in the economic development of the country. So we already know that so many uh, industries are basically using, basically increase our growth of the country, economic growth of the country. So basically it is also involved to the our economic development of the country. So what is entrepreneur? In French, entrepreneur, which means go between to undertake. It is means it's carry on to the process and to undertake the values. Webster Dictionary: one who organize, manage, and assume the risk of a business or the enterprises. Okay, so that is basically who taking the risk of the business for the enterprises. So if we taking about to the definition of the entrepreneur according to the Oxford Dictionary, a person who undertake an enterprises with a chance of profit or loss. If we talk about to the some new person, like we discuss about to the MBA Chaiwala, and like we discuss about to the OYO and Uber. So these are the some basically we have to that a person who taking the risk with the profit or the loss. So entrepreneur is a person who undertake a business activity of which he has no background and faces considerable risk in the process. So if either of two element, no background or considerable risk is missing in the venture, so it is no entrepreneurship. Enterprises in the Oxford Dictionary is the bold undertaking, just like we can say that the companies, that we can say that the enterprises. Entrepreneur, New Encyclopedia Britannia, an individual who bears the risk of operating business in the face of uncertainty about the future conditions. So that is, we can say that the entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship, it is a philosophy or process through which an entrepreneur seeks innovation and the employment. Entrepreneurship and enterprises. So entrepreneur is a person we can say that it's a person. Entrepreneurship is a process, and enterprises is the outcome or any industries which is the opened by the entrepreneur. Person, process, and the object. So different person have a different definition about to the entrepreneur. So all and the summary of this information, that the person who have created industry according to his idea, that is the basic definition, a fundamental definition of the entrepreneur. So Richard Cantillon is said that ask a person who pays a certain price of a product to resell it at an uncertain price, thereby making decision about obtaining and using the resources while consequently admitting the risk of the enterprises. And Adam Smith, Adam Smith, an individual who undertake the formation of an organization for commercial purpose by recognizing the potential demand for goods and services, and then act as an economic agent. So mention that economic agent and transform demand into supply. Economic agent, like the person who have participate for the economic development of the country. Peter Drucker, entrepreneur, is one who always search for the change, respond it, and exploit it at an opportunity. Just like we are traveling, some person have a problem to traveling from one place to another place. So that this is the opportunity for the Ola and Uber company. So these are the startup to create and to the taxi company. Same like as Rapido. Rapido is basically working on to the motorcycle and the bike, and very cheap for the person who can't wear to the taxi rent. So he believes in increasing the value and the consumer satisfaction. So thus a professional manager who mobilize the resources and allocate them to make commercial gain from an opportunity. So it is also called as entrepreneur. The Francis Walker said about that the true entrepreneur is one who is endowed with more than average capacities in the task of organization and coordinating the various other factors of a production. So he should be pioneer and the captain of the industry. Joseph Finscomter, entrepreneur, is an innovator who carries out new combination of initiate the process of economic development through introduction of a new product, new market, new source of raw material, and the establishment of the new organization. So basically that is given by the Joseph Scumter. The process of development is deliberately and continuous phenomena which is actively promoted by the service of a change agent who provide economic leadership. To sum up, the entrepreneurship may be defined as a systematic innovation which consists of a purposeful and organized search for the changes and a systematic analysis for the opportunities that such change might offer for economic and the social transformation. So basically these are the evolution of the entrepreneur. So what kind, these are the period 1, period 2 and period 3. Period 1 is like the ancient period, or we can say that the Prachin Kal. They are working on the dharma, manusmriti, and also working with the agriculture, handicraft, iron, cloth and the livestocks. Period 2 is basically the transformation period of 1815 to we can say that the independence, before independence. So on that particular time, the entrepreneur is basically the agriculture field, yeah, or metal work, or handicraft, or stone carving, or jewelry designing, and domination of Persis, Marwadi, Gujarati and Jain. Okay, okay. So these are the second period. Period third is basically 1850 to 1947. So in this period, basically the Britisher governed India. So Britisher started harassing the natural resources of India to their own advantage simultaneously, developing the road, railways, and ports, etc. Just like jute, textile, tea, coal, these are the mining by the British, emergence of the persist entrepreneurs, and Swadeshi movement is always governed by the uh, Gandhiji. Period 4 is basically after the independence and onward the post independence. Okay, during 1947 and the post independence. So after the 1947, some of the resolution passed in the our parliament, just like the IPR, Industrial Policy Resolution in 1948, and Marwaris such as Birlas, just like Dalmias, Goenka, Singhania, Bajaj, Kirloskar Rising Industrial Policy Resolution in the 1956. Basically, the establishment of the public sector and the heavy industries are produced, nationalization of bank, and formation of the National Small Industries Corporation, KVIC, just like the Khadi movement, Ministry of Micro MSME, NIE BUD, ED and the rising family entrepreneurs. These are the previous family which is rising to the according to his market. So after that, if we talked about to the initial field in 1600, French verb interpreted means to undertake anything. So middle age actor and person in charge of large scale production project. In 1700 person bearing risk of profit in fixed price contract. 1724 25 Richard Cantillon, person bearing risk is different from capital supplier. 1803 Jean Baptiste say shift economic resources out from an area to lower to higher productivity, greater yield. 1876 Francis Walker is distinguished between those who supplied fund and receive interest, those who received profit from the managerial capabilities. For example, leader who mobilize the resources. 1934, we already discussed about Joseph Iscumter. Joseph Iscumter is basically told that our entrepreneur is a innovator or the developer. Develop untried technology, just like the productivity and the innovation field. Okay. In 1961, David McClelland theory, we will discuss highly motivated, energetic, and moderate risk taker, need for the achievement. Basically, this theory is working on the need for the achievement, need for the affiliation, and need for the money. Okay, so 1964, Peter Drucker searches for the changes, respond to it, and exploit as opportunity. It's basically the entrepreneur or is a opportunity focuser. In 1979, the Kernerzer as an arbitrary who discover opportunity at low price and sell at high price because of intertemporal and interspatial demand, or we can say it at the demand focus. 1980, Carl Vesper seen differently as by economics psychologist, businessman, politician, and we can say that this entrepreneur is basically working on the environment field. Gifford Pinchot, that is working on the intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is basically is the sub branch of the entrepreneur, and entrepreneur within already established organization, just like the we can say that the intrapreneur. In 1985, Robert Hisrich, creating something different with devoting time, with value devoting time and effort, assuming risk, result, reward, and satisfaction, just like to leadership and the vision. It's told by the Robert Hisrich. In 2008, National Knowledge Commissioning of India, the professional application of knowledge, skill, and competencies and the monetizing new idea by an individual or set of people by launching an enterprises de novo or diversifying from an existing one, thus for pursue growth while generating wealth, employment, and social goods. Okay, so basically the entrepreneur, a person who create an idea and implement to the idea to the enterprises. So what kind of charms of becoming an entrepreneur? So if we see about think about to any entrepreneur. We ever think about to the Paytm founder, we have think about to the Zomato founder, we have think about to the Oyo founder. So there is some charm of becoming an entrepreneur. The first charm is basically opportunity to create one's own destiny. We identified our what we have doing. So that is first opportunity to create my own destiny. I'm if I am a just a job oriented person, so that is all they at my company person is all is known by about me. But the after the company of other the family members, company member or family members, they don't about not me. So but if you are an entrepreneur, so these company, other field, society, they all know about that you are the entrepreneur or you are the founder of this company. Opportunity to make differences. You can easily differentiate between the a person who have a entrepreneur and a person who have a job person. Opportunity to reach one's full potential. We have to working with the full potentially. Opportunity to reap impressive profits, and opportunity to contribute to society, and opportunity to do what one enjoy. So these are the some charm. What are the pros and cons of the entrepreneur? So pros is basically you are the boss, all profit are yours. There will be great variety in roles and tasks, different tasks you have to perform. Increase self confidence. Work can be very satisfying. Success will give you the immense satisfaction. So these are the some we can say that the advantages of the entrepreneur. But if there is an advantage, always there is some disadvantage also are there. So you are the you are alone, all decisions are yours, all losses are yours. You will need to put in your long hours. Lack of success will affect self esteem, and existing the business is difficult, and pressure will affect social and the family life. So these are the cons of the entrepreneur. Okay, so if you are an entrepreneur, the all profit is yours, all loss is yours. Your if you are doing good, then always uh, create a happy life, and if they are good, then family is not supported to you. So that is very both of things are there. So what is enterprises? Enterprises means object. Basically we will discuss about to the enterprises previous. So enterprises is a object which is outcome by the entrepreneur and the process of entrepreneurship. So an entrepreneur is a person, we already know that, who start an enterprise, and the process of creation called entrepreneurship. So entrepreneur is a person, entrepreneurship is a process, and enterprises is the outcome of that particular process. Okay, so the entrepreneur is the actor and entrepreneurship is the act. The outcome of the actor and act is called the enterprises. Enterprises is the business organization that is formed and which provide goods and services, create jobs, contribute to the national income, export, and contribute to the overall economic development. So these are the some characteristics of entrepreneur. If you have a characteristic, then you can become an entrepreneur. So some characteristics mentioned here. The first is vision. An entrepreneur has a dream and he visualize the way and means to achieve dream. In doing so, he will visualize market demand, socio-economic environment, technological environment, and then based of dynamic, he visualize the future of the business venture. Knowledge, if you don't know about knowledge of your company, so always it's create a very negative impact of your business, be it to be technological, operational, financial, and the market dynamic. Desire to succeed. An entrepreneur has a strong desire to succeed in life. Their dreams are not just limited achieving one single goal, but they constantly work on to achieve the higher goals. Independence is basically entrepreneur need an independence in the work and the decision making. He is the boss of the companies, and they do rule of thumb but make their own rule and destiny. Optimism. Entrepreneurs are highly optimistic about achieving their vision. Value addition, if entrepreneurs do not follow the conventional rule of thumb, basically they we can say that they have a constant desire to introduce something new, product, new market, new area of business. So that is value creation. Leadership, if you are the entrepreneur, exhibit the quality of the leader. They are good planner, good organizer, good communication skills, good decision maker, take initiative. Hardworking, at times they are called workaholics. Work is worship for them. They put the continuous effort to achieve success, and no, there is no substitute for the uh, hard work. Hard work. Risk taking ability, if you don't have a risk taking ability, you can't become an entrepreneur. So risk is an inherent inseparable element of the entrepreneurship. He assumed the uncertainty of the failure. An entrepreneur guaranteed rent to the landmark, wages to the employee, and interest to the investor in the hope of earning more than the expenses. Some other characteristics also are mentioned here. Mental ability is the necessary part, clear objective, business secrecy, HR ability, communication ability, technical knowledge, achievement oriented, perseverance, ethical, motivator, self confident, long term involvement, high energy level, problem solver, initiator, goal setter. So these other characteristics are also involved into the entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is basically a person who manages whole the company, whole employee, who manage the investor, manage the other activities, manage source of funded, manage the expenses. So basically these are the some characteristics which is having on the entrepreneur. So what is the difference between entrepreneur versus entrepreneurship? Entrepreneur is a person, entrepreneurship is a process. So entrepreneur is a person who bears the risk, unites various factors, production and carried out creative innovation. And entrepreneurship is a set of activities which is performed by the entrepreneur. Okay. So it process to identifying the opportunity in the marketplace, marketing of the product, and it basically is taking the opportunity for the long term gains. So what kind of relationship between entrepreneur and the entrepreneurship? So entrepreneur is a person who follow the process, organizer working with the organization, innovator working with the innovation, risk bearer working with the risk bearing, motivator is working with the motivation field, creator it's basically working with the creation, visualizer means what kind of vision are there, leader is working with the leadership quality, imitator is working with the imitation. So these are the relationship between entrepreneur. These kind here is basically the person talked about to the person, here is talked about to the person which is done by the entrepreneur. So here are different theories which is working with the entrepreneurship. So theories just like what are entrepreneurship are working, what are the meaning of the entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship refers to the process of action and entrepreneur undertakes to the establish his enterprises. Enterprises is basically working with the object, and that is where the person. So it is creative and innovative to the environment, as a response to the environment. In other words, entrepreneurship can be defined as an ability to discover, create or invent opportunity and exploit them to the benefit of the society, which can bring prosperity to the innovator and his organization. Okay, so basically it is the process, the person have an idea which is working on that particular process. So main theories are summarized as follows. The first theory is like Joseph Scumter, we already discussed about the Scumter. Scumter is working on the basically our entrepreneurship is a function of the innovation and the person, that we can say that the innovator. For the first time, the human agent as the central of the process of the economic development and assigned role to the entrepreneurship in his theory of economic development. He considered economic development as a discrete technological changes. The process of development can be generalized with 5 different events. First is it can be outcome to the introduction of the new market. Secondly, introduction of the new method. Thirdly, introduction to the account of new market, arise in account of a new market. Fourthly, it may be consequence of a new source of supply. Fifthly, it may be due to the new organization of any industry. So according to the Scumter, basically the person or entrepreneur is a person which is the innovator, a new market, new product, new value, new industries. So it is basically working with the innovator. So development is an not an automatic process, but it must be deliberately and actively promoted by the some agency within the system. Scumter called a Scumter called the agent who irritated the above change as an entrepreneur. He is agent who provide economic leadership that change the initial condition of the economy, and it's also called the economic agent and cause the dynamic changes. By nature, he is neither technician nor a financier, but he considered as a innovator. So basically, the main fundamental idea behind of this Scumter is that is the entrepreneur is a innovator. So entrepreneurship is not a profession or a permanent occupation, and it cannot formulate a social class like capital. So psychological entrepreneur is not solely motivated by the profit. So today's we will end of this lecture, and next lecture we will continue about to the Frederick Harvinson, and basically we tell about the organization building. Okay, thank you.